Mike McCool here in the Royal Examiner studio, and with me today is Michelle Ross. She is the Executive Director of Samuel's Public Library, and Lewie Moten. And you're a Code Jamboree is where I recall I last see one of your projects that you're in. So what are we here today to talk about?
So we're here today to talk about Library Lovers Month and the annual Day of Giving, which is February 23rd.
Right.
Lewie Moten has generously given us a matching grant up to $3,500. So we have the potential to raise $7,000 for the library. And so February 23rd is the Day of Giving, but because it's Library Lovers Month, we'll be matching.
Isn't every month Library's Lover Month?
I think it should be. It is for me, but nationally it's February. And so we're going to be matching donations all month long.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's great. And when Lewie does this, it'll encourage other people. So I think you'll go over $7,000.
Fingers crossed.
So.
We hope so. Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah, you want to do that. So, Lewie, what sparked your interest in the library?
I've always been a fan of the library. My parents used to take me to the library when I was young, and I brought my Atari because I didn't have games like most kids had games when I was a young kid. I had to program my games, and we didn't have internet either, so I would run to the library and go to the computer section, always look for what's the latest using BASIC.
Right. Amazing what you could do on that, though, isn't it? I mean, when you look back and you're thinking, my gosh, I always tell this, there's always, I hope it might be fake news, but, they always say that the computer they used to go to the moon was, your phone, or my wristwatch has more RAM than these little.
That is what I've heard.
and you're wondering, you think about that. I can remember when I was in high school, a long time ago, we had, that was a big thing, computers were coming in. They had the IBM 360, if you recall those things, and it took up the whole floor of the school,
Right.
But we had to write everything out on paper, and then they would key punch it in, and they'd send it down, and that would take a week, and it would come back. No, it didn't run, so you dig through it and try to figure out where the mistake was, So it was in the math department, so that's no longer there.
Now you can read all about it in the library.
Yes, that's right. The library is so cool. And, I tell you truthfully, before we go on and talk about this annual giving thing, the library just has so many. How do you keep track of all the stuff that goes on there? I mean, that's why you need to raise some funds, I know. But and again, we talked earlier. Tell us about how you get your funding.
So we are primarily funded through Warren County, so your tax dollars at work, but they can only fund so much of what we do. They cover basically all of our operational needs.
Yeah, they keep the door open.
They keep the doors open. They keep the lights on for us and help us keep some things on the shelf. But most of what we do is funded by donors like Lewie. So we have all of our programs, winter readings going on right now, and we have 400 kids signed up and 100 adults, and we're able to provide prizes because of people like Lewie. We're able to keep people engaged because of our donors. And so every dollar that you give to the library goes right back into programs and services for our community.
Right. So it's like 100% giving there. I mean, it works out great. So, Lewie, what you're going to match this $3,500? That's a pretty healthy donation.
Yeah, I've already given them the proceeds to work on that, but I'm hoping they can raise it all and even more.
Oh, I think they will. I think they will. So now let's go. The annual Day of Giving. So how does that work?
So we will have videos throughout the day on social media letting people know how far we've gone. We've actually already raised at least $400, and it's not even the Day of Giving yet.
Right.
So because we're matching all month long. And you can go to dayofgiving.samuelslibrary.net to make a donation. You can go inside the library to make a donation. We take cash, we take check, we'll take credit. Whatever you got, we'll take it. And
all legal tender, right?
And if you see the posters in the library or around town, there's a little QR code, and it'll take you right to the website as well, where you can make a donation.
Okay. So how have we done in the past? I'll say the last couple of years. How's been our giving?
So last year we raised over $6,000, and so that's why this year our goal is $7,000. You always want to try to raise the bar a little bit. And
I think we'll get past it.
I think so. So now, there's something else. This Library Month thing. Tell me again about that.
So National Libraries Month, Library Lovers Month.
Oh, excuse me.
National Library Lovers Month is just a celebration of libraries. It's a nationwide thing. We also have a little display in the library where you can come in and write down what do you love about your library. And we were talking earlier this week, and surprisingly, the number one thing we have a lot of stuff. So the number one thing is still books, and the number two thing is our staff.
Right.
I mean, we're really blessed with such a wonderful and creative staff to get everything done that needs to be done at the library and to come up with all these great programs.
There's so many programs. I mean, we advertise them constantly. What's going on? Lewie is the guy that drives around in this little funny-looking red car. It's an electric car. I just got an idea. It flashed on me because I seen it parked out front of the office. And we had one come up. He said, "Who owns that thing?" I said, he said, "That must have been the first smart car." I said, "No, it's before smart cars." But I tell you what, a donation of $100, you'll give them a ride around the block in your car.
Yeah, I could do that. I mean,
he draws a lot of attention. You see him in the parades, and but
Well, and he also has some adorable dogs.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
So the maybe you can pet the corgi too.
Oh, you're like the queen's dog. Aren't you? But no, seriously, little things like that, people will, that draws a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Just that Atari right there. You talk about that thing, these kids, what is that? They look at it and they're just amazed of we just didn't know it. Like internet, most people have grown up with the internet. And, and we didn't have it. Then we got the dial-up. Then we thought, we had bulletin boards, and then you had dial-up, and then you did this and that. And it's just, and how quick.
Yeah.
When you think back, it wasn't that long ago that we have that. And so, but we've always had the library.
We have, and I grew up with dial-up. And I came of age right at that time where you had to just start using the internet for researching and for typing up your papers. And we didn't have internet at home, so I went to the public library because that's how I accessed it.
Right.
And we still have a lot of people, we don't have the best connectivity yet in our community. So there are some pockets where people aren't able to get the internet.
Right.
So they come to the library and they're on our computers every day.
And on your Wi-Fi.
On our Wi-Fi.
The hotspot.
And the hotspots, yes, the laptops and the hotspots.
Right.
You can get a hotspot and go anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Right. So just like say, tons and tons of stuff. So let's talk more about Lewie over here because I know he wants to. Tell me a little bit about this Code Jamboree. What do you do?
Right now I'm doing front-end web development work. Mostly if you use large websites like Google, YouTube, or Facebook, I'm usually one of the guys in the back end making that site work, or of what you see, or having services communicate to each other.
Yeah. There's a lot more involved in this internet and computers than what we see as users, and what we don't, it's like you say, there's a lot of back end stuff that goes on. We do a lot of website stuff, but even that is so minor compared to what, because I hire people to do stuff in the back end that I can't do on the front end, and people are amazed. They just think, you just, go to Wiz and type up a website. There's just so much stuff that goes on to make that work. And, it's just like the Royal Examiner, I can remember a couple of years ago, we kept crashing it. We had like 30 or 40,000 people trying to hit the site and didn't realize that little shared server I was on just couldn't handle that kind of traffic. So you don't think about it. You think it's all the same, but it's not. So we had to go and spend more money and go to a bigger place. It's got a bigger pipe.
Now everybody's moving to the cloud, and that's a whole new ball game.
No, it is. It's changing. I can imagine. Can you imagine? So the internet goes down one day. I lose it for 2 hours. People stand around twiddling your thumb. You go to the grocery store. They can't check you out. Can't lock the door. The computers. Yeah.
It's the same at the library.
I mean,
if the internet goes down, we have no way to check out the books. We have to start going back to writing it down by hand. And if you don't have your library
card,
they're
pulling out the old cards. The Dewey Decimal. Yeah, right. Yeah, you're pulling out your
little
card.
date stamp of when it's due.
Oh yeah, that's great.
We're actually just getting ready to move to the cloud. We're getting a new library system, and it's going to be cloud based. So that's we've been hosting our own servers for years. and it's going to be hard to let go of.
It is. It's hard to let go, but there's a lot of advantages. There's benefits to the cloud.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of features that you can't do yourself. And I think one of the best things is just that it's that constant change and update. Everybody's gone to a subscription model now because, people, like in us, we have to buy graphics software because all our customers have, you name the program. And so now everything is switched to a subscription, so we always have the latest and greatest, so we can open and use other people's program, files and things. So it's just amazing, and I appreciate guys like Lewie. There's a lot of people like Lewie in our community that step up and help the library and other.
And a lot of our we've got so many great nonprofit groups and just volunteer organizations that do so much for our community here. And I know Louie's involved in a lot of different things around town, not just with helping the library.
Right.
He's been helping out at the thermal shelter and all sorts of things. So we're really grateful for people who are willing to stand up and help those in need here in our community.
Well, I always like to say, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yes.
And our library cares about us.
We do.
Lewie cares about us, and Royal Examiner cares about you. So, but seriously, it's true, and I think you get so much out of helping. You don't see it, but like you say, when you're out and about doing these things. You don't need praise. You don't need people to praise, and so we don't want to embarrass you, Lewie, about But that's a pretty big deal you've done, and I appreciate people like you that are stepping up and helping the library, and it does encourage other people.
It does.
I might have to come in there and give you something. I don't know.
Well, I know
Melanie
we've talked
called
about
me. She says, "Oh, how much was your worth it?" I said, "I don't need any." But, but we want to be able to tell. I said, "I don't really, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in so many ways."
Well, we're always very grateful for how much you guys help promote the library.
Yeah.
That's one of the number one things people can do to help, even if you don't have money to give.
Sure.
Spreading the word about what we do it does so much.
I'm hoping that you kept my platinum library card. You promised me you were going to.
I still have a platinum card.
I know,
you
and
can
it's
come
got my
get
name on it. Okay, so, and we got stuff you mentioned. Great programs. We're going to have that amphitheater. Hopefully, we'll start construction here any day. That needs donations, and so if you love the library, February 23rd is your day to step up and show them how much you love. Give them some love, and Louie's going to match that grant up to $3,500. Now it doubles your money, so every 100 you give is like giving 200.
Yeah,
it's great. I think it's a great thing. So we really love the library, even though I don't have my platinum card yet. I keep giving her such a hard time about the library, but it is great.
Well, we do need a
I
drop of blood.
I tell you truthfully, I got upset with the librabary before you came because I took all my brand new books, still had the jackets on them. I'm only around. Oh, these are too many. I said, what's the deal? If one person gives you 100 books or 10 people give you 10 books, we only take 10 books. I said, well, just think no one's come in for a week, so just take my 100 books. But I finally twisted their arm.
Well, as long as we have space, we'll take donations.
I don't know where you put the stuff.
We've got a back room.
I know. And you have book sales.
We have book sales. We have a bookstore. The Friends of Samuel's Library runs a bookstore. They're open, I believe, every day that we're open now. Mm-hmm. We had some times when the hours were off because of COVID. We didn't have enough volunteers, but we've got plenty of volunteers again, and they run that bookstore all on their own, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day that we're open, and the deals are good. And if you're a friend of the library, if you sign up for a Friend of a Library membership, you get 20% off at the bookstore and our annual book sale.
Right, yeah. So there's a lot of good things. Like, I have a lot of business books. You read them once or twice. I want to share them. I loan them to somebody, and they rarely come back. You know what I mean? But I say, "Where's that book?" "Oh, I loaned that to somebody." I said, "Oh, it's okay." That's what it's all about.
If we can't use them in our collection, we put them in the book sale, and then that brings in money for us to do stuff with.
Yeah, somebody uses them.
Yes,
and that's what it's all good about. We want to share, help our community, make it better, and again, appreciate all the great things you do. Lewie, I know you do a lot of things, and we're going to, let people know about it. So, without embarrassing you, okay. Louie's great. Louie's great. But when you see that funny little car, tell him you'll give him a big donation if he gives you a ride somewhere. Yeah, that's great. It's funny. I think people do that all the time in my smart car. That thing, how do you get in there?
Oh, that's who drives. I've been wondering who that was.
I have one. And. So yeah, I have a Suburban and a smart car. That's the two extremes, right?
I've got my really old Prius.
Yeah.
So
You're one of those. Okay. Well, he has an electric car, so yeah, it's great.
Yeah. I have an electric car, hybrid, and an ICE vehicle. So
There you go. See, what more do you want? That's great. Anyway, you see Louie, give him a big thanks. See Michelle, ask her about her platinum card she can give you.
we do have a few limited number left. So
I want number one. No, you have that one. Anyway, it's again good talking to you. Library Giving Day. What are we calling it again?
Day of Giving.
It is so simple. Why do I forget it? But it's February 23rd. Run by the library. You can go early. You
Yeah,
don't have
all
to
month
wait
long.
All month long. Give them a few shekels. It'll go a long way.
Yes.
People like Louie, step up. Join Louie in that giving program. It's great. There's always room for more.
Yes.
All right.
And we'll
Yeah.
take money year round.
I know
but
you guys
It'll
do.
it'll be doubled this month. So
I'm just so impressed that our community this size has such a fabulous library. If you've never been there, please go and visit the library. It is so cool. Again, thanks, Michelle.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Louie. We will catch you after the 23rd. We'll see how well we did.
Yes,
All right.
exactly.
Thank you.
thank you.